to Crusade.
Part 2. Around the same time as Stefan was amassing his French Crusaders in May 1212, a 10-year-old German boy named Nicholas of Köln decided he would not be outdone by some little French pansy and claimed that he had a vision of a flaming cross floating in the sky.
Hey, that cloud looked like the flaming cross. And that one looked like the big swans.
Nicholas also said that an angel named Mike told him it was up to the children, or more specifically, German children, to succeed where men had failed because of their sinful ways, and that the children's innocence and piousness would allow them to stroll right on through the gates of Jerusalem and retake the Holy Land from the Muslim infidels.
You want me to recapture Jerusalem? But I is just a kid.
Why the hell not? The adults ain't done shit. Now go get 'em, Tiger.
Like Stefan, Nicholas must have been a charismatic little motherfucker as well, because after about a week of walking around the Rhineland and preaching about a crusade, he had built up an army of thousands of rabid religious fanatics that were raring to go to the Holy Land and kick some infidel ass.
If you want to go crusading, you got to put on pants.
Oh, come on, Mom. All the cool kids get to go crusading.
Follow the Holy King, you stupid goat. He is going to Tanoi Sila.
God in heaven, I can't believe all these idiots is going to be following me.
By June of 1212, Nicholas led an army of about 20,000 German kids that were raring to go crusading. Which begs the question, where the hell were these kids' parents? Unlike Stefan's kids' crusade, Nicholas's group had a lot more adults, but they were mostly weirdos and hookers.
Hey, any of you kids want to ride? I got a nice white van.
This is a kid's crusade, Boomer. So peace off.
The little German crusaders soon set off and marched south through Switzerland to cross the Alps, which was an arduous journey to say the least, and many of the kids got sick and died, while others starved, froze, or got eaten by bears as they trudged across the treacherous mountains.
Crusading sure is fun, right guys? Ooh, look! A bear!
When they finally reached Genoa, Italy, a 500-mile walk, in August 1212, there were only about 10,000 or so kids left. The Genoese people were not too happy about all these dirty, homeless German kids showing up on their doorstep. So they said they could stay the night, but that was it.
The credulity of these idiots is mind-boggling.
One night in Genoa was all these little tykes needed, because they truly believed the next morning the seas would part before them and blah, blah, blah. Of course, the next morning came, and the seas were wet as ever, as the little German Dummkopfs prayed for a miracle.
Hey, Nicholas, that water look pretty wet to me.
Bitter disillusionment ensued, and the majority of the kids were like, "Fuck you, Nicholas, and fuck religion too!" and vainly tried to wander back home. A large number of the kids were averse to making that death march once again, and stayed in Genoa as a source of cheap labor.
Wait, why is you all leaving? We is doing God's work.
God's work don't pay for nothing. We got jobs at a local pizza place.
Nicholas and about 1,000 of the really, really, really dumb kids were not going to give up on this crusade so easily, and said that God was just testing their faith and playing a prank. So they decided to legitimize their gullibility and marched all the way to Rome to meet the goddamn Pope himself.
We still believe you. But we also believe the earth is flat.
We also believe that global warming is a hoax and science is the devil.
And dinosaurs never existed.
Pope Innocent III was very impressed by these little religious fanatics' exploits, so he agreed to meet them and praise their unwavering devotion and piety, and said they were the next level of crusaders that put all these phony, so-called real Christian adult crusaders to shame.
I'm telling you, Mr. Pope, there was a flaming cross und Mike the Angel. Und the Tin Man und Scarecrow was both there as well.
Really? Well, what a nice story you tell.
Such a nice boy. Then a scowl came over the Pope's face, and he began yelling about how sad it made him that these dopey kids still believed in miracles, and there was no Easter Bunny either, and that they should stop dicking around and go back home and get a paper route or join the Cub Scouts.
Why, you kids tell the Pope these bullshit stories. You think Hamas do not? Now go away. I'm busy.
Disheartened and embarrassed by Pope Innocent III's total diss of their crusade, Nicholas and his remaining followers began the long march back home. But when they finally arrived in early spring 1213, there were only about 300 or so kids left. Even poor Nicholas got sick and died on the return trip back to the Rhineland.
If I die on the walk home, it's okay if you guys want to eat me.
Why wait for her to die? I need her ass right now, as is.
Thousands of kids died, and thousands never returned home after this debacle. So, as you can imagine, there were thousands of pissed-off parents. Some of them formed an angry mob and stormed Nicholas's home, beat the snot out of his father, and hung him in public for encouraging his dopey kid to lead this crusade.
Where is Nicholas's father? We want to talk with him, yeah?
Yeah, we just want to engage in some social discourse with him.
And lo, just like that, the Children's Crusade was over. Why did it fail so badly? Well, first of all, it was stupid kids doing stupid kid stuff, like refusing to sleep and saying, "I'm not tired," or forgetting to bring their galoshes, or realizing they needed food, shelter, and weapons to survive.
That kid's got food. Get the boys.
Give me that food!
You hired Doritos from us? I'll fucking kill you. Give me them.
I'll cut them on the ground before I share them. You watch.
Secondly, the church was against it because they were the all-powerful entity in Europe in the 1200s, and didn't like the fact that some dopey kids could preach and sway so many people to go on a crusade without church approval. So they gave them no crusading help whatsoever.
You can't be a crusader. I saw you jerking off in the boys' bathroom, sinner!
Ow! I can't help it! None's giving me a boner.
Finally, there were all the shitty adults who saw this mass of unsupervised children as a golden opportunity to rob them, abuse them, molest them, kidnap and ransom them, force them to be child brides, rape them, use them as really cheap labor, or make a nice profit by selling them to the infidels to use as sex slaves.
You mind if I stick my finger in your ear?
Uh-oh, I know how this one ends. Yowza!
And now that the dust has settled, let's take a look at the big board of death and get ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr.'s take on the debacle known as the Children's Crusade. Death estimates are based on the historical fact that most people on this crusade were dopey little kids that had no clue about logistics and even less awareness of the cold harshness of the world. There's no leadership here. These kids need a veteran to come in and lead them if they ever want to make it to the promised land. They need to trade all their top draft picks and go get a seasoned pro, a veteran who's been there, done that, and has the vision to give this team what it really lacks: real guidance. So remember, kids, next time you think it sucks being a kid because you failed a test or broke up with your sweetheart, or hate your parents because they won't let you go see that R-rated movie with your friends, just be thankful you weren't a kid back in 1212. Well now, that was pretty crazy, right? Thousands of child crusaders running away from their boring, dreary home life to march through the parted sea in order to reclaim Jerusalem, eat candy and not brush their rotten teeth, and never have to do homework ever again. Honestly, what could possibly go wrong? At least we learned a lesson about sending youth on a crusade. Kids really suck at war. Hope you enjoyed Holy Crap, the Children's Crusade.